Good day, everyone. Today, we're talking about those test secrets. Shh, tell nobody. I want to see how many juniors are going to actually watch this video to know all about their test. So, shh, don't tell nobody. Alright, in this video, I'm going to be talking about test information, formats, show the types of questions on the test, show some good exemplars of writing. What I mean by exemplars, I just mean just one. I'm not going to give you multiple, just one should do. And then showing testing strategies. Alright, announcements and reminders. All forms of technology must be surrendered prior to having access to the test. So on test day, Thursday, Friday, you guys gonna come see me, or you're gonna turn in your phones, headphones, anything with technology. I need for that to be given to me. And of course, everyone will get scanned. So if I need to scan everybody, I'm going to scan everybody. Alright? Because again, I cannot, would not, you guys risk such a thing like that. After you finish the test, all phones and technology will be given back to you, but when everyone finish. Makeup test will not occur till March, so if you miss this test, you know it's going to be a 0x. Assignments will happen. Rotations will occur this week prior to testing. Without retention, meaning that while you retaining the knowledge that was taught to you, you should not pass. So by now, if you don't know your trig ratios, by now, your basic 3 trig ratios, that's something that is going to be on you. You're responsible for that. I'm not responsible for reteaching and reteaching you the trig ratios. I'm not responsible for going through anything that's being taught. Now, the only thing that I would be kind enough to do is to address the probability stuff, because I know we haven't really talked about probability as much, other than me having you watch a video through rotations or through your study guide. Notes: absence does not equal completion of the assignment. I know how kids like to be absent, and then they think, oh, I don't have to do the assignments when I come back. I'm just excused. And you think those excuse means that you don't make it up. You have to make it up, or else you will fail the course. Assignments for absent students are always online. So if you need to complete your self-house assignments, that's that. But also to my absent students, do not think because you did your self-house assignments or whatnot that that's going to be enough for a pass. If I haven't seen you, you won't get a passing grade. You just won't. I'll give you points for the online work, but it's not going to be, oh, see, I never showed up. We're not doing that. All right, so here are your test topics. All right, so trig ratios, Pythagorean theorem, all right, unit circle, and all parts of that includes your coordinate plane and everything. Trig identities, polynomials, and that includes factoring, adding, subtracting polynomials, multiplying polynomials. Data analysis, dealing with those graphs. Central tendency, dealing with mode, mean, median. Probability, basic and independent probabilities. And then your radicals. Again, that's something that you should have down to a science. Test format and information. What does this test look like? I gave you the information already. Now, let's look at the formats. And these questions you see, don't count on it thinking that what you see in this video is exactly what you're going to see on the test. Again, what you see in your video, in this video, is not what you're going to see on the test. Test questions. Writing. So, the type of questions you're gonna have to write, and it's going to be dealing with the trig and the math definitions and that stuff. Multiple choice polynomials, short answer, multiply, and they're gonna be dealing with graphs and probability. Click and drag, probabilities and percents. All right. True and false, dealing with all definitions. Graph, dealing with the trigs. And the number of questions range from 19 to 36 questions. So that's how many questions that could be on there. 19 to 36. 19 to 36. All right. So this is a prompt that we worked on. You guys know exactly what to do. So you're going to be looking at something like that. All right. And again, make sure you work out all your math steps first. I had to see you work it out first. I cannot just have an explanation without the math. The math must be seen first prior to you answering the question. All right. Next, multiple choice. You know, then after that, type in the answer. Type in a numeric response. Then from there, you're going to have to do multiple things. So, you know, select the right answer from this. Select no right answers. Type in that numeric response. So you have that's that. All right. The drag and drop answer. You're going to have to take answers like this and put them where they supposed to go. So that's what you're going to have. All right. All right. True and false. You may have a series of statements where you have to click either true or false. So true or false. All right. And again, this is a question about polynomials. So, of course, anything polynomial related, I just want you to do with multiple choice. True or false is again with definitions and particular facts. All right, graphing. In my rotations, I am going to, and probably am surely in the time I have for you guys to see me, is to deal with those graphs. So, you know, we know that sine graphs usually are right here at the origin, and they go like this. And we also know that cosine graphs, they usually have start off right here with the amplitude right there, and they look something like this. So that's cosine, and this is sine. Again, origin point, non-origin point. So blue is sine, black is cosine. So make sure you have that distinction down. All right, testing tips. The real ooshy gooshy secrets. So don't tell nobody. Close the door. Make sure you all are by yourself when you go through these testing tips. All right. So multiple choice. Yeah, I'm not giving no partial credit for multiple choice. I'm not. If it's wrong, it's wrong. For polynomials, quadratics, anything of that sort, all I want you to do is go to decimals and match the graph of the original problem to one of the multiple choice questions being correct. Alright, so if I give you original problem of a polynomial, graph it, and then go through your answer choices and see which answer choices best match the original problem. For probability, use decimals. Compute using rational numbers if needed, and then click the rational button next to your answer to simplify. All probability questions need you to multiply. Alright, so anything with the word probability on my test is telling you just multiply and keep it pushing. Writing. Highlight important information. So when you're getting graded on your right, I gotta see those highlights. Highlight is, it's the essential piece. If you don't highlight, I cannot, work with you. Work the problem out. I had to see all the math work. Explain your work as it relates to the question, including the vocabulary. I had to know that you know what you're talking about. So not only doing the math, explaining what you did with the math, but I have to see that vocabulary. And then I want you to answer the question. All right, so here's an example of someone's work that I took and I made, to into this video. So this is what's on your study guide. Student A was given problem 107 to simplify. Review students A work to determine what is correct. If the work is incorrect, identify and explain the error. Then show your correct steps to simplify the expression. Your response should include the mathematical work first, correctly simplify the expression, use complete sentences to explain the reason and determine the accuracy of the student's work. And then they go to student work. So remember the three reads. In the first read, you read what the problem was about. So that's the point that the student got. So he or she highlighted in yellow. What's the problem asking? The student highlighted in purple. Because you have to, review the student work to determine if it's correct, if it's incorrect, work the problem out and, deal with the errors. And then the last read being the blue, what is given is what is asking you, what is telling you right here, and the problem right there. So you're going to highlight for three things. What's the problem about? What it is asked of you? What is given? And again, this blue right here you see, it's pretty much given to you about how that format should be. Alright? The purple is telling you what to do. And then you got the student's work. So let's look at what the student have done. So the student again done the three reads. and highlighted beautifully so I could see. And then from there, the students showed that beautiful math work. Remember, 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 when you are working the math, for each step you have done, I have to see the arrow. The arrow is telling me, okay, your next step is, all right? And then when you get to your final answer, the students gave me those three dots. That is crucial because that let me know with the three dots, you have finished your math and you're done with it. And I'm also grading you on points on that. I need to see the math format to be done beautifully because I'm not only grading you on your math skills, I'm grading you also on your technicality stuff. All right? So let's read what the student did. So he says, student A was incorrect because student chose to change square root 7 into square root of 21. That can only happen when you multiply by another square root. To fix this problem, student A must rationalize the denominator by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by square root of 7. This will make the numerator 1 square root 7 and the denominator 7 times square root of 7, which is just 7. 1 times anything is anything. So our final answer becomes 7 square root of 7. So the student had answered the prompt well. The student used the vocabulary, and the vocabulary was rationalizing the denominator. And of course, he explained what does it mean by doing that, which was to multiply numerator and denominator by square root of 7. So that was cool to see. So this is what I need to see when you write. So again, when we do our rotations this week, some classes may have extended practice with that because of struggles or weaknesses. So there we are. And some will not because some are moving quite well with the writing piece.